No nonsense gin drinking. All gin, no nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman and today, my friends, we have a rather dainty and pretty little gin for you on the show. Let me introduce you to this little fellow who goes by the name of the Lakes Gin. And if you're wondering what particular lake it is referring to, well, it's not actually a lake, it's actually a district of lakes, namely the Lake District. And if you haven't heard of the Lake District, it is basically the UK's answer to one of the America's national parks. Well, the closest thing we can get anyway. It's a very, very beautiful place. There's lots of lakes, lots of hills, grass, fields, and all sorts of nice shit. And I highly recommend you go and visit it. Well, they have brought out their own gin, and I believe it is taken that the gin, the water, well, oh god, the water from which the gin is made is actually taken from one of their lakes. I don't know which lake yet. It might tell us when we have a look on the website, but I'm gonna hazard a guess that it's Lake Windermere, and the reason I guess that is because it's the only name of those lakes that I actually know. So there's not much more to say really. I say we crack on and bloody well find out about him. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you like listening to me and watching me speak about stuff, well, in particular gin here, you're thinking to yourself, I like him watching him talk about gin, but I'd like to watch him talk about some other stuff as well. Well, you are in luck, my friends, because you can head over to the Bobby Freeman Show, which is a new show which I've created, in which I talk about all the sort of weighty issues of the day, news and current events, and all sorts of, it's a load of old bollocks, really, as we say here in the UK. So if you fancy a bit of that, click on that thing up there and you shall be transported directly to it. The Lakes Gin is our classic English gin with vibrant notes of juniper, cracked black pepper and orange peel. We elevate flavour by using only a select few botanicals, gently infusing them in the finest British wheat, in the finest British wheat spirit. Wheat spirit? Yes. Distilling in our traditional copper pot still and only drawing the purest water from our Lake District National Park, home in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Hang on, what lake was it? Maybe we'll find out in a minute, I'll keep reading. By steeping the botanicals overnight like loose leaf tea. Loose leaf tea. Do you know what? I love a bit of loose leaf tea. In fact, whenever I have tea, I always insist that the leaves are, well, loose. They interact freely with the warm spirit to encourage the essential oils to release more slowly, protecting their delicate nature. Now, doesn't that sound lovely? You know what? In fact, I wish sometimes someone would protect my delicate nature. The traditional copper pot still then runs slow and long, a bit like me. Now then, that sounds bloody good to me. Unfortunately, we didn't find out which lake it was, so we're just going to have to guess it's from Lake Windermere. I don't think it really matters, to be honest, but there was one more thing. Oh yes, now this is one more thing I want to tell you. It's, interestingly enough, 46% ABV, which puts it in line of my old friend over here, number 3, which we all know was the best gin of... Well, we don't all know, I've forgotten. 2020, the best gin of 2020. And I thought that was the perfect amount of ABV to just give it a little bit of fire without going over the top. So this, my friends, is looking very, very promising. So I say we crack on, get the top open, and get it in the old gullet. So then, we've got a lovely gold sort of top to it. Now, I found the little arrow. I think this is going to be fairly easy, this one. As we know, I try to pad a little bit sometimes, but that's come off an absolute treat. I'm going to take it off very neatly, and we are rewarded with a cork, my friends, so we know what that means. It's the Lake District cork test, if you can imagine such a thing.
The Lake District cork test, if you can imagine such a thing.
So do we have a squeak? Not really a squeak, I'd say it's kind of a low grumble, if anything, but you know, it's a new, we haven't done that before, so here we go, let's go for the full pull, here we go. Christ almighty, oh God, oh no, I talked over the pull, we'll do that again. Here we go again, hang on. Oh, slightly disappointed now. I thought it would have been it was a slightly high-pitched pull, I think. I thought it would have been better than that, having been such a tight fit in the bottle, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all know it's just a bit of fun. So then, it sounds like quite a simple gin, this one, but in many ways, it is very similar to number 6, to be honest. Quite a little bit stronger, 46% ABV. Quite a simple gin. So let's get the old, I think of another word for nose. Nose, nostrils, snitcher, conch. I've never been a fan of the word conch for a nose. It just puts me in mind of, I don't know, like some sort of 1970s Beano comic or something. I'll just call it the nose. I'll put the nose in. Here we go. So. Almost lost the cork there, that was interesting. Wow, as you could probably discern from that noise, or those series of noises that I made, that smells like it literally dripped down from heaven. Good Lord. They said orange peel, didn't they? I'm getting a lot of orange peel in there, but backed up with a real kind of, I think I've cut myself on that foil bit. But never mind, that's the sort of risk I take for this show. But it's kind of, I was going to say, it's a massive whack of juniper in there, but kind of heavy and thick juniper and sort of, a little bit of a kick to it as well with that extra little bit ABV. So I say I literally cannot wait, and I'm not going to. I'm going to crack. Oh my good Lord, that top just got blown off there. It's terrifying. You see what I mean? I risk injury at every turn on this show. I've cut my hand in a very small way, but still, it's still a cut nonetheless on that thing there. And then now I risked. And I'm not sure what I risk. An exploding bottle. That's you know, that's the risk. As I say, that's the risk I take on this show. You're welcome. Right then, let's get a little bit of tonic in there, shall we? I reckon we're about to be careful. I'm running low. My tonic management is very, very poor at the moment, so I reckon about that much. That looks good to me. So, my friends, here we go. As always, as I say at this point of the show, thank you eternally to my my wonderful patrons and my equally as wonderful YouTube members who are literally paying for the gin on this show. You really are, guys. You paid for that gin right there, and that bit there is about to go into my mouth. So thank you very much. I say to everybody, the Lakes gin from the Lake District. We think it's Lake Windermere, but we're not sure. We're yet to get clarity on that. Cheers. Oh. Now then. That is quite the journey. It's different to how I was expecting. So it's big on the orange, but light on the orange in the same time. Let me explain that. Orange is definitely the dominant flavour as it was in the aroma, but it's kind of a very sort of light kind of almost a hollow kind of orange. Kind of a sort of a light wafty orange, I would say, and slightly not as sort of deep and sort of citrus and juicy as I might imagine. More of a kind of a sort of a candy kind of orange. More of a candy orange, I would say. Which is immediately followed by that kind of a nice sting of that 46% ABV, which is very, very welcome. It's always, as I say, kind of the perfect sort of strength for gin in my humble opinion. However, it doesn't really back it up with that kind of thick, heady juniper, which I was getting in the aroma. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit thicker with juniper, maybe a little bit more spice. I think it's slightly lacking there, but still a very enjoyable, gin. And what's interesting is there's not much of that cracked black pepper. They mentioned that a couple of times in the description, so I thought it was going to have quite a sort of a fiery kind of kick to it down under, but I don't seem to be getting that at all. It's all the sort of the high up lighter flavours with nothing kind of deep down and core and bassy and sort of spicy and dirty, which is a little bit disappointing. I feel like we've just got sort of a single layered gin here. I mean, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Those layers that are in there, those those singular layers, they're good. They're all good, they're all doing what they're supposed to be. But I just feel like there could be a little bit more, giving it a little bit more depth to it. However, let's give it a go neat. You never know, sometimes these gins are made for the neat gin drinker, of which I am not generally one, but you never know. What was the one I had the other week? Oh yes, the mermaid zest, which was actually wonderful as a gin and tonic, both as a gin and tonic and as a neat gin. So let's give this one a go in the beautiful branded no nonsense gin drinking mug, of which, you know, Christmas is not far around the corner. What more could your beautiful wife or husband or partner or whatever than a lovely, oh God. As you can see, I'm not the natural salesman, but I think what we're trying to say, go and buy one for Christmas. I'm sure everyone will be very pleased with that. So, broke into a little song when I was doing that. Right. Okay, to be honest, all I'm getting there is kind of strength, really, as you can probably tell by my few little pathetic little coughs there. But yeah, even less in the flavours, I'd say now. As you know, I think the flavours getting unlocked with the tonic. A lot of people say to me, why are you trying it with tonic? You know, you ruin it. Well, that's your opinion, but I think you are releasing those flavours. And to me, there's not much being released there at all, and even with the tonic. So, yeah. I think you know what I'm saying. So then, guys, what with this little fellow in the rather beautiful bottle, I think we can agree, what is it going to set you back? Well, I can revealeth that it's going to be 34 English pounds. And once again, I've forgotten to do the translation. Hold on a second. 34 pounds in dollars.
It's $38 US.
It's $38 US, and about it works out about the same with euros at the moment. But that's about right price, really, to be honest, for a non, as we say, a non-mainstream gin. About £35 so it's £1 under. Yeah, it's okay, but to be honest, it's not really blowing me away, so I don't know, maybe I would like to be a little bit cheaper, but at least it's not too expensive. So guys, look, let me be fair. This is not a bad gin at all. I would not be upset if you gave me this gin. I would not kick up a fuss, a stink, or I would not create, what's another word? I'll have to think of one, hang on. A ruckus. I would not create a ruckus if you gave me one. However, I just feel it could have had a little bit more depth. I think it could have few more. It's all very well saying it's a very. I think it said it was a simple gin or something, didn't it? What did it say? We are a. I don't know. It was something along the lines of it was a sort of a simple traditional gin, which is fair enough. That is a simple traditional gin. The number 3, Highclere Castle, is a simple traditional gin, but there is bags and bags of depth and kind of flavours singing in harmony, and they're truly awesome. So I think, look, I say good work with the bottle, excellent work. I like that very much. With the gin, I think it could have been a little bit more three-dimensional. And if you are watching this, I doubt they are, but all I'm saying is you got the start of something good. It's got legs, okay, not literally, but it has potential to be something good. So maybe tweak the flavours a little bit for what my humble and unwanted, most of the time, opinion is worth. So guys, I hope you found this useful today. I didn't want to sort of do it down too much because it's not too bad, but I have to be, as I always say, I have to be honest with you guys, otherwise what's the point of me being here? So if you have appreciated my honesty, don't forget to express that appreciation by subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, clicking on the like button on the video, and if you want to support the show and help me pay for these wonderful gins for which I am drinking and you are watching, head over to the Patreon page or click the join button below this video or the super like thank thing just down there under there as well. But until next time guys, you all know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and my members, and of course, keep drinking the gin.